everyone, how's it going? So what am I working on now? Well, I got a 2012 Silverado. Customer's complaint is of an engine noise and a check engine light. So I got my scanner hooked up. Let's see what we got. Now this happens to belong to a surf shop near us. I think they do surf lessons and stuff like that, surfing lessons. And I tell you what, this thing is full of sand. Like there's sand everywhere. But the trucks look like they're very well maintained, but it's just like I can't move the seat, nothing like that, because it's jammed up with sand. But yeah, anyway, it's got 233,600 miles on it. And he was saying he's never had problems with it. So it's been a great truck. He says, but now he's starting to hear some noise. So he wants to know what's going on, plus the check engine light. So I got the scanner hooked up. Let's do a scan and see what we got. All right. Shut that off. All right, so we're okay there. Let's do a code scan. All right, EVAP and fuel tank pressure. Okay, well, a fuel tank pressure sensor, if the pressure sensor is not reading correctly, it can set leak codes that don't actually exist. So that's always a possibility. Because what's happening is it's looking at certain pressures. That's how it judges if it's got a leak. It's got to maintain pressure at a certain point. The system's never going to be a perfect seal on these things, ever. So it knows that it's going to degrade a certain amount. So it has that in its calculation somehow. You know, however they created the program to set the codes. So what happens is it looks at a certain number. If it degrades by, let's just use, it uses vacuum. Let's use, I don't know, 5 inches of vacuum. If it goes from 5 inches of vacuum to 4 inches of vacuum within 3 seconds, let's say, then it knows it's a small leak. But if it goes from 5 inches of vacuum to 0 in 3 seconds, then it knows it's a major leak. So if there's a problem with the sensor, it could actually do that, you know, even though it doesn't have any leaks. So anytime you see a pressure sensor code, go after that first. So let's see. All right, just finished. Anything else? Oil pressure sensor performance. That's a common failure on these things too. That doesn't necessarily mean you don't have any oil pressure. But let's start it up and see what she does. That's an exhaust leak. Did you hear that? That's an exhaust leak. Now this is a 5.3, so these things are known for the DOD system, the lifters creating a problem. But that's definitely an exhaust leak. And from what I can see, all the bolts are there on this side. Let's see a leak. I can't see the last one on this side. Hard for me to tell. Usually you could look for carbon on the cylinder head too, where it meets the manifold. Let me look at it. It's actually got a gasket in there too. So this is, I'm not sure if this might be an aluminum block motor. I don't know. I don't know what the difference is in the years, but it might be. Let me try starting it up again. Hang on. Listen carefully. Oops. I did just show the business name. Sorry about that. There, you heard that. Definitely leaking on this side. Yeah, it's definitely on this side. Kind of hard to tell though where exactly it's coming from, but you're gonna have to pull the manifold regardless to fix it. But the motor itself sounds excellent. 233,000 miles. The motor sounds absolutely excellent. Can I see from here? I think this is an iron block. All right, let's take this thing for a road test. I will say the truck runs, the engine runs perfectly fine. Transmission shifts perfectly fine. It's got a pretty good vibration I don't know if you could pick up on it through the video, but right around 40 to 55, 45 to 55, something in that range, it's a very fast vibration, and it seems to come while accelerating or decelerating. It's there at a steady cruise too, but not as significant. I think it's got a bad U-joint, because when you have a bad U-joint, you have a rapid vibration. When a U-joint's going bad, it's much faster than like a wheel vibration. Obviously, a wheel vibration is going with the rolling of the car, whereas a drive shaft universal joint vibration is like 3 to 4 times the speed of the car usually. That's how you can tell when it's something like that. Now, if it's a front drive and it's an axle creating the problem, the axle is spinning at the same speed as the wheel. So if it was an axle issue, it would be a slower vibration. This is a pretty rapid vibration. So once I get it back on a lift, we're going to check that and see what we got. Alright, so I just came to a dead stop and I'm accelerating. I'm at 20, 30, 40, yeah, I'm starting to feel at 45, 50. I feel pretty good right now. And then as soon as I go cruising, I'm at just about 53. I can feel it, but it seems a little greater when you accelerate or even decelerate. Like here I'm 55, let go of the gas, and I feel it pretty good there. So, like I said, it's kind of like a very fast vibration. That's how, like I said, that's how you know. Now, as far as that code goes for the EVAP leak, I'm trying to do a purge seal on this, where I can purge the system, basically put it into a vacuum through engine vacuum, and then I can actually seal it. Right now, I have the purge seal set at 50%. See this? Set at 50% right there. The EVAP purge percent, 49. And see, the numbers are not going up much, very little. See that? They keep bouncing back almost to 0. So something's not allowing this thing to seal, because if I hit seal right now up here, I hit that, what'll happen is it'll stop the purge solenoid and it'll seal the vent solenoid. So if I hit seal, which I did, see, the vent is just, or the fuel tank pressure is down to 0. Could it be a bad pressure sensor? Absolutely, it could be. However, when I'm outside this thing, I can actually smell gas. So I got a funny feeling we have a leak somewhere. What kind of leak? I don't know. I took a quick look at the gas cap. The gas cap's not all that healthy. You got to remember something too. 233,000 miles on it. Gas cap's going to wear out. It's a wearable item. You know, you take a soda cap off or something like that enough times, and eventually it's just not going to screw back down. And that's kind of what's going on here. That's not the problem though. There's something else going on. At least I'm pretty sure that's not the problem. There's something else going on. And like I said, when by the side of this thing, I can smell fuel. So maybe there's a vapor line, something that's leaking. We're gonna have to get it up in here and check it. Okay, so I'm up underneath the truck, and as far as the fuel smell goes, I think I know what it is. Now this thing, like I said, is a surf truck, surf lessons truck. And it's always on the beach. But see this? This is actually the vapor line, the fuel vapor line, and it is just rotted. So I guarantee you that's part of where I'm getting the smell from, is something with this line. I mean, it looks almost like it might be perforated up here somewhere. But I mean, that's pretty well rotted. And it's not uncommon for trucks that are on the beach down here for this to happen. I usually see them break up here. This is kind of a common location for that to happen. But I'd be willing to bet. I mean, just look at all the mud and sand and everything else. I bet you this thing's gotten stuck a few times. Now, as far as the U-joints go, he said he's not concerned about the U-joints. He really only uses it local now. He says if I don't see anything blatant, he says don't worry about it. And, you know, the U-joints themselves feel fine. So we're not going to worry about that for now. But now I got to just see how far are we going to go with this, because obviously I'm going to have to put a line in it from there to up there. For that, since it's not a pressure line, you can use rubber hose if you wanted to. It's not going to hurt nothing. So let me figure out what we're going to do, and then we're going to go from there. I can't see anything with the exhaust leak from underneath either. Usually you could see like black carbon soot on the head or something like that. I don't really see it, but it's definitely coming from the left side. So let's see how far he wants to go with that. Does he want to change the... At this point, I would probably change the manifold, considering it's got gaskets on it already. I would think that the manifolds are probably warped. So, you know, somebody's been in there already, because if I'm not mistaken, they never came with gaskets in the factory. So let's see what they want to do. We'll go from there. All right, guys, so we ordered exhaust manifolds for this truck, and I'm going to basically patch that fuel line. Like I said, it's not a high-pressure line. It's basically just vapors. So I can use hose on that, the right hose. I'm going to do it the right way. I'm not going to just ramshackle a hose on there. But anyway, but that's not going to be till Monday. So today's Friday afternoon. So anyway, we're going to end this video here. So hopefully you got something out of that. If you did, hit that like button. If you could, please subscribe. All right, guys, have a great day. Keep wrenching.